Hello, this is the podcast and social hour, and we are going to have a little nice conversation and talk about some things. And this is Matt,
Jessica,
Harold,
Hoffenheimer, Bibberheimer.
Yeah, they call me Jim because I would go to the gym and work out.
Yeah, you can fill in the rest. He's a workout guru. But just here a moment ago, Hoffelbeimer was telling us about medieval assassination. Do you want to continue with that?
Well, the reason they sat at long tables with no one across from them with their backs to the wall, and no one was allowed behind them, it was so no of your enemies could not come in and kill you, and your enemies might be sitting right next to you. And their chalices that they drank out of had glass bottoms, so when you raised it up to have whatever was in the chalice, usually a beer or something like that, we would call it a beer, you could see through the bottom if anybody was coming to cut your throat. Mm-hmm. What a nice way to enjoy a meal. But that was the times they live in. And I shouldn't say we're getting back to that times, but I think we are.
Wasn't there something about why back then they didn't want to do they thought a round table was, because they always say, a long table was, I know you said that was because so everybody could look behind their back, but wasn't that because, the head, there's a head of the table, like the person...
Yes. Well, a round table, everyone is equal.
Yes, that's what I did.
And at San Simeon in California, they dined at a very, very long table. And who was the newspaper guy that owned that? What's his name? Hearst. William Hearst owned it. And he was sitting at the center of this very, very long table. And one of the young Vanderbilt boys asked Mr. Hearst, since you own this beautiful establishment, and why do you sit in the middle of the table and not at the head of the table? And Mr. Hearst replied, where I sit is the head of the table.
Oh. I see what he's saying. I see. What do you think about that, Jess?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. I'm eating.
We're talking about, like the sort of like, I don't know if you want to call it the psychology or the status quo of a sitting at a table.
Uh-huh.
Like, the head of a table. Like how. Like, I don't know if you want to see, like a long table. There's a reason why instead of a round table. A round table usually people are equal around that than a long one. There's a head of a table and a foot. So the person who's in charge is the one who's at the head.
Yes. And the person at the...
So how can you tell what the head and the foot of the table is?
I sit at the head.
Stop. I don't want you to break a chair.
Why don't you break your back
And my wife sat at the foot of the table.
In your head, in your back.
She sat at the foot of the table. And the guest of honor sat to my right. So when you're at a long table, whoever is the host is sitting at the head of the table.
The left-hand side?
The person at the right of the host, that is the place of honor. Mm-hmm. And at the left would be the next place of honor. Okay.
So what side of the plate does the fork and the spoon and the knife go? Since you know all this etiquette.
Etiquette.
Etiquette. Etiquette. Jess.
Okay. The knives go on the forks go on the left side of the plate,
Okay.
and they're placed in the order that you will use them during the meal, starting from the outside in.
Okay, so you start on the outside.
And on the right is the knife and the spoon. And if it's a really nice meal and you're having dessert, then the butter knife and the dessert fork will be at the top of the plate, facing the opposite direction, so that when they come down, they're on the right and left side.
Interesting.
Yes, I didn't know that. What about the like dishware? Do you know anything about the dishware?
Well, the water glass is if they're stemmed, it's the tallest one. It's the largest.
What do you mean
one.
by stemmed?
Stemmed? Well, this is not stemmed. The stem has a stem like a champagne glass,
Oh, okay.
like a wine glass,
Okay, I get you.
and the glasses are different for
I never heard it put that way.
for different kinds of wine, actually, but that's getting really pretty nitpicky. But champagne glasses are usually shorter and bowl-shaped, but I don't care for those because it spreads the bubbles out and releases the bubbles from the champagne. You also have champagne flutes, which are tall and narrow.
Why do I think I've heard of that? Do they look like a pipe? They don't look like a pipe, do they?
A pipe?
A pipe. I thought the champagne flutes.
Flute. Well, flute will be tall,
Yeah.
and they'll come up with a
Oh.
looks kind of like a lily.
A lily.
It appears to be a lily.
So what's you been up to lately, Jess? Besides, probably taking care of the
I
kids.
know. We've got a lot going on.
And,
Work's busy.
I heard.
Home is busy. Did you guys order a coffee drink?
No.
No. Other than all of that, what did I do this week?
Didn't you have some kind of appreciation thing the other day? I saw something on Facebook where you guys did some kind of, and there was some people on the hill. Up on the hill. By the way, that's Shelby Hills. Around here we just call it the hill.
An appreciation thing.
I thought that's what it was.
And I was in the picture?
Yeah, you're in the picture. You and oh God, what's that one girl's name? She's African American. Oh God, I'm terrible with names.
Oh, that was, okay, so you're talking about on our Facebook, on the Shelby County Board of Developmental Disabilities Facebook page. So those were just pictures from 2 weeks ago when we had our trunk or treat. Yeah.
It wasn't from Trick or Treat. It wasn't from Trunk or Treat or whatever that was. It wasn't from that. It was where you guys were like doing.
Yep.
Like.
It was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
that.
for trunk or treat.
Okay.
We were inside, and the Action Club members were.
Action Club. That must have been what it was. Action Club.
Yeah, they were assembling a lot of the items that were handed out
Okay.
during the trunk or treat.
And you were just saying you appreciated them for their help.
Yeah, that's what the post pretty much. I think whoever posts on Facebook,
Yeah.
our social media person, it was Thankful Thursday.
Thankful Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh. I haven't been up to too much. My television went out on me. Grandma keeps saying she keeps saying I've been staying over in her part of the house.
Too much?
Well, no, not too much. He said, am I going to have another visitor tonight? And,
So are you getting a new TV?
I got a new TV, but the thing is, I got to take it back because the thing... Has anybody ever heard of a brand called On, and it's spelled ONN? I got it on an early Black Friday deal, and we set it up. I plugged it in, and then the night it sort of had like what I think of that new car smell, or like what might have been a leathery smell coming out of it when we took it out of the box, and then I turned it on, and then after that the smell got worse.
Wonder where it came from.
It came from Walmart.
No, before that.
Well, it's sort of I did look that up, and I said it is a subsidiary brand of Walmart. So it's a company. I don't think Walmart owns them, but I don't know what you call it, partner with them or whatever. But the only thing I could find
What's
is...
it called? Up?
On.
On? O-N-N?
Yes. And they said that sometimes that there's something on them that needs to be burned off. What?
All right, I just looked it up. On, ONN, is a Walmart generic brand in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. On products are made in China as a cheaper alternative to a wide variety of consumer electronic devices, including mice, speakers, and cables. These products are sold under different brands such as costs. So they're made in China. That's probably why they stink so. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but they've been in the box for a while, and
Yeah, but this thing was like awful. This was like...
Really?
It gave my grandmother a headache, and I like it's the varnish or whatever they put on it.
Yeah.
So I'm returning it, and
I don't blame you.
I'm probably gonna get a Vizio. Has anybody heard
Yes,
of
we have those.
Did you ever have a smell when you took it out?
The Vizio?
Yeah,
No.
like a chemical rubber burning smell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've never had that with any TV I bought.
I've never either. I've had.
It's Smellovision.
Speaking of Smellovision now, I'm reminded of a book I read or listened to once. It was called The Science Fair. That was a good book.
Who was the author?
I don't know. It was just it was a young children's book, and like preschool, maybe. Well, not preschool, maybe middle school. But it was a good book, and in the book, it talks about how they did invent Smellovision. Like it was, for some reason, this one guy, he did invent some way, and I kept thinking, how would that actually be possible? How could we smell what was coming on from, like how people sometimes on TV say, sometimes they say, oh, you better be glad you can't smell this. Or they say, oh, you wish you could smell this.
That's what they say around the president.
Yeah, probably because he's made...
That's what the Pope said. Oh, you should smell this.
Oh, I get what you're saying now.
And then there was poor Camilla.
Who?
Camilla, the to-be Queen of England. Prince Charles's wife had an episode that was memorable according to her definition.
What, did she have a loose bowel or something?
No, the president cut a long, loud one in her presence, which is not something you're supposed to do in the company of royals or other company either. But
I wonder when that started, because I don't know if that.
oh, it's true. Yes, it's true. Look it up.
No, I mean, how long?
It was at the COP20 conference, and he and she were having a conversation, and then it happened. And it was the most memorable thing she got out of the conference.
You know, there's all these weird etiquette rules, and I'm like, why can't we?
Well, that one's not weird.
Well, no, I'm just saying, there's all these. You know what I mean, don't you, Jessica? There's
Yeah,
all these.
it's just
rules.
a matter of a fact. That was not weird.
Well, it's not a weird rule.
If you, okay,
I'll buy
for the
mine.
viewers, Jim keeps tipping on his chair and he's giving me a heart attack because there's a wall that he will hit his head on, he will break his back. I'm least worried about the chair,
He'll give
more worried
himself a
about Jim.
concussion.
If you wouldn't sit behind me, I wouldn't do that. to
Well,
see
if you would trade me
He's
spots.
not sitting behind. For the record, she is not sitting behind him. She is sitting on the side of him.
We have two tables here, two people at one table and one people at the second table,
Yep.
which is the child's table.
Huh.
It could be.
I think those chairs are more comfortable. This one hits me wrong in the back.
Well,
Which ones?
This,
she said those are more comfortable.
I know how to fix it. I know how to fix it. I'll put my scarf back here as a pad.
It might be because that chair over there has the groove thing on.
It has a bigger back and a slower. Ah, that's much better.
Is that better?
Oh yeah.
But, well, besides the television issue I had, not too much going on. Did I tell anybody about the candy I got from my sister?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I got my sister some candy, and it was. I've been buying her some well, it wasn't all, like, when we say candy, usually in this country, we think of,
Something sweet.
yeah, or, sugar. Well, it was sugary, but I mean, like lollipops or something, but no, it was not really that when they got it. It was, I found it on Amazon and the box had a sloth on it. So I thought it was just candy from all over the world. And when she got it, she said, "This is Turkish candy. These are Turkish snacks." And she tried them and she liked most of them. Some of them she's like, she thought were terrible. There was this one muffin thing that I'm going to be, I got my editing software up and it's not, but as soon as I get it fully up and running, I'm going to edit that. Because she sent me some videos of her trying it. And the one she did not like this muffin thing. With it, like, it looked like it had chocolate in the center.
That was camel dung.
What was it?
Camel dung.
That was what she said. It wasn't camel dung.
How do you know?
They're not.
Do you not know?
They're not gonna feed people camel dung.
I went to Kroger's yesterday.
You went to Camels. I mean, you went to Kroger's yesterday.
Yes.
What did you do?
It was an experience. I was.
Are you talking about the sushi bar?
Huh?
Are you talking about the sushi bar?
No, I didn't see the sushi bar. I went in.
There's a sushi bar at Kroger.
Oh, it's amazing.
This place is.
If you like sushi,
I
go
like
there.
sushi.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, sorry for interrupting you. What did you do at Kroger's?
Well, the first thing, I hadn't been there in years, probably 5 years. And I forgot how really big it is. It's so big, it's absolutely intimidating. So the first thing I did is I thought, well, I'll walk through the liquor department and see what liquor is. And I pushed my card in there, which you're really not supposed to do, but they didn't tell me to take it out. And I was absolutely amazed at the price of liquor. I'm glad I don't drink that like that, because it would be really expensive. But they had all kinds of liquor, and there was two ladies in there that were buying some, and they were actually selecting it by the bottles that they liked. If it had a pretty bottle, that's what they liked.
You're talking about where they put wine and all that, and things like that, aren't you?
No, this wasn't wine. This was actually the hard stuff. But it was the good stuff, but if you like that stuff.
You're not talking about the aisles where they have beer and things, are you?
No. I mean, the actual liquor department. You go into Kroger's and you hang a hard right.
Yeah, now I know what you're talking about, where they, because at one time, that department, that place was actually, at one time, it was when they still had video stores, it was a video rental, it was a flower place too at one time.
Yeah, but they made good use of it.
Yeah.
And there must be $1 million worth of liquor in that little tiny space. Mm-hmm. And anybody that actually is a serious drinker, they should move to Arizona, because it's a lot cheaper there, because the taxes are so much less in Arizona. But anyway, I was so intimidated by this place.
You were intimidated by the store.
I walked by and priced the cheese, and I was absolutely amazed. And
that it was.
Then I asked where the coffee was, because my coffee guys told me they had a good one there that was almost as good as what they had. And I bought some of that, and it was good. And then I asked the lady that was at the service desk, which is where I checked out because I didn't want to get in the line. I said, "Where's the milk?" And I thought, it's going to be a quarter of a mile to the milk. And there was milk right at they call it on the end of the aisles. What do they call those things? Anyway, there was milk there. So that's kind of nice, because if you just want to run in and get a thing of milk, you don't have to.
It's on the other side of the store.
To get it, you can grab the milk. So I bought the milk, and as I was checking out at the service desk, another lady waiting. I asked. I said, "Well, is the milk? Is the price there the same as it is in the back?" And she says, "Oh, it's the same price everywhere." And this other lady who was waiting in line says, "You better get it now before it's $10. So people do know.
What do you mean about now? That confused me. Could either one of you explain to me what do you mean by get the milk now before it's $10?
Well, she was just commenting on how the prices are going up on everything.
Oh, because I haven't heard that milk has went up any. Have you?
Well, just about everything has gone up.
What's the most expensive thing you guys think has went up lately? Either one of you.
Gosh, there's a few things.
Bunch of things.
I know. It's hard to.
Yeah. Well, ham went up a $1 a package at Aldi's before they closed it to remodel the place. Used to be $3.50 a pound, and it went to $4.50 a pound. That's an increase.
I guess I'm thinking of like drywall.
Oh yeah, well,
we're adding on to our house.
I saw that.
Yeah, our backyard is a big mud pool.
Oh, they haven't done anything more?
No.
I saw that. I'm like, is she adding a pool?
No.
No, we're adding one to our house. But yeah, they have the crawl space dug, and then because it's going to be under a crawl space.
That's not because you've added on to your family, is it?
Yeah, we don't have enough rooms. Our house isn't big enough, and even when we do add on, 2 of my kids will still have to share a room, which is fine. We just are literally on top of each other. We need
That's
an
what
extra.
caused this.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
My house isn't big enough either.
Yeah, but you have separation. You have different stories.
Yeah, you have.
Like I just live on one floor.
I honestly like your house, Jim. Like if there was only 2 people, I think that would be nice for maybe even 3 people.
I feel like you got the kitchen, you got the dining room, you got the living room. There's another room over there, and then you have your garage, and then the upstairs if you want to get away from people. Like, our house is just, like, if somebody's talking on the phone, everybody hears it.
Yes.
You got like
Communal.
the Three's Company house. But, I mean, well, maybe if... I never did. One thing about Three's Company that show is like... Didn't they only have 1 bathroom on that show? Did anybody ever watch that? Did you ever watch that or?
No,
Okay,
not to speak of.
I watched it.
I remember when Bowses only had 1 bathroom, and it was weird when we got a house with 2 bathrooms. You know, and
I like to have a house with a bath and a half, or at least bath and a half.
I just remember, like, I was scrolling through my Facebook news feed, and one of my friends commented, made a post, and it said, name something that was a luxury when you were a child. And a bathroom, 1 bathroom. Like, if somebody had a bath and a half, they were rich. Or if someone lived by the YMCA, we thought they were rich. My luxury was going out to eat once a month.
Really?
How about a bathroom inside the house?
Exactly.
Oh God,
Yeah.
My first church I went to, they had outhouses. But, I mean, obviously you had outhouses, I'm assuming. You had a bathroom outside?
I didn't, but
Well, then that wasn't a luxury for you.
I've been places that had bathrooms outside. And you really wouldn't want that inside.
No. The church that I went to, we definitely used outhouses. And it was an outhouse. In the winter, it was an outhouse. In the summer.
It
was a hot house.
Yes.
It was
a cold house in the winter.
The only times I've ever used outhouses, I've used porta potties sometimes.
Well, that's an outhouse.
Yeah.
The outhouse that I used was like 4x4s, and then a hole dug in the ground with a bucket. I'm assuming, I don't know. But there was no running water.
Some of them you go in there and it would be like 10 feet deep. Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing, if it was empty.
I mean, my family, I have a lot of family in Kentucky and, other places, and
I have some family.
We used to go camping a lot in Lake Cumberland, and I mean, that's just what you did. You put a tarp up, and you did your business behind the tarp. Dug a hole, covered, that was a luxury, I guess, to some people to even have a tarp, And another luxury of mine was, or another thing that I thought, like, if, people have that, man, they're rich. Was like, remember those big computers that came out? It was like, it had cow spots all over it. It was
Yes,
like super.
yes, I know what you're talking about. I think the box. It was the box that had it.
Yes.
The box. It wasn't the computer itself.
It was the box. Yep.
That was not Macintosh. That was it wasn't Dell, was it?
I don't know what it was, but it had spots on the box, and then you had to
looked like
dial up, and it was like.
Well, that's you're talking. Yeah, you're talking about dial up. That's
dial up and the computer and like all that stuff.
Yeah, before
Before we got spoiled.
Yeah, before we got real spoiled, and then well. Speaking of dial up, that'll bring up another. That's what we had, but I never had that because I saw computers. I used them when I got into school, but when I got into school, we weren't using dial-up. But I know what you're talking about but dial-up.
Like all those different.
Because they were connected.
But why make those noises?
Because it was connected to the phone line.
Oh.
Because it wasn't a separate thing. It was connected to the phone line. That's why. Have you ever heard the noise when whenever you would try to send a fax?
Yeah.
That's the same thing. But
We haven't lived till you crank the phone.
Oh.
What do you mean crank the phone?
Phones used to have cranks.
Yeah. Back in the day where you had to crank the phone and then you put the little, it looked like a stethoscope and you had to hold it up to your ear.
Yeah, I've seen them.
He's going way back.
Were you around during those times?
I remember that.
I've seen.
When you were little and stuff?
Yeah. I'm
I've
actually
seen
119.
Jim,
He's showing.
or not.
Those are the I don't know what model of car they were. I don't know if they were Model Ts or what. The ones that you had to put
Lots of cars had cranks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my grandpa, he bought a brand new truck and he had a really hard time finding a truck, so he finally just went to the Ford dealership and they had a special order crank windows. Like he did not want anything electric, with electric
power
and all that stuff. He has a very basic, brand new. It's about, I don't know, maybe 5 years old now, but it was so sweet. He's like, nope, I don't want anything electric.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want an electric car then.
Well, no, I mean power or whatever.
Good. Well,
whatever it's called.
did
power.
the ones that crank? Did they have a battery inside it, or is that why you had to crank
Yeah, well,
it?
some cars had cranks and an electric starter. I had one.
Oh, totally Bauer.
Crank and electric starter. Like a crank and an electric starter where you pushed a button.
Yeah. Had a battery, electric starter.
Well, I was just asking if those...
Kettering, we're Kettering, Ohio, Kettering down at Dayton. He made his fortune because he invented the electric starter for a car. Because everybody was cranking them then. You didn't break your arm.
Yeah, somebody asked me, gosh, it was a few months ago, if I could move their car. I couldn't start it. I didn't know how to start it. There wasn't a key. There was no key. There wasn't a key you had to put in the ignition. It was I don't even know. I could not figure it out. She had to go move her own car.
There wasn't a button that says start.
No, I don't know. I tried, but I felt like a big, I was like.
No, that would be probably a curve for me too.
It was you had to. I think it was a key magnet, and then.
Oh.
I don't know what it was, to be honest. I have no idea, but it really freaked me out just a little bit.
I watched something interesting about magnets. This weekend. Has anybody ever heard of Ferris magnets, or Ferris, like a Ferris gel? I think is what it's called. Liquid, Ferris liquid, because it's very magnetic. It's a fluid that is magnetic because it has like metal. I think it has metal shavings in it, and it will adhere to magnets in a liquid state. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. This guy, he actually made a suit out of these round magnets, and then he stuck his finger in this liquid, and it just flowed up the suit. You got a headache?
Yeah.
Oh,
Getting one in here because the lights are all glaring.
do you think that's what it is?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that
That's
glaring.
glaring.
Yeah.
Turn that light up.
Me and Jim are very sensitive to
much
light.
better.
That's much better.
Man,
Just
I'm like, oh, what is hurting my eyes?
Yeah, I was
you
getting one
would
too.
get along with my grandmother then.
I don't like a whole lot of light on.
we turn the light out, we'll probably get evicted from here.
I know.
That was what happened.
Jessica?
Harold?
And we're signing off. So hear from us next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was fun, guys. Gals.